Hello, good morning, and thank you for joining us on yet another edition of the program Salve, Vicinus. Today is Friday, the 13th of June 2025, and of course, we are very excited coming to you live over DMR TV here in Boya. Welcome to Boya, Wejiliwik Babo. To those of you entering into town, this is the city of legendary hospitality, and we welcome you with a lot of hospitable spirit. Of course, Salve Vicinus is one program that fits you with lot of inspiration, information, education, and entertainment. We punctuate all of that with lot of good music. Today shall be no exceptional, because we shall be bringing to you all those things that will keep you company and make your morning worth living. Good morning to you just waking up from bed. We say welcome on board this program. Of course, for those of you who know, Salve Vicinus comes to you every other day, Mondays through Fridays, from 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. And on the program, we bring to you reflection. Reverend Father Jean Lambert Bartamak will be here to treat us to our reflection page. We shall also be having Sister Florence Awambek to tell us what the saints are saying today. Of course, which saint we are celebrating and what we can emulate from his or her lifestyle. And then we will be having some news with Magdalene Wondo, who will be here to tell us what is making news, or what's the latest in the world of information. We'll also be having Eileen Sama, who will treat us to the newspaper review, the weekender edition. Of course, we're going to be getting a lot of information from the papers when that time comes. And then we will also be having John Philip Wanla, who will be joining us to tell us what is making news in the world of sports. That will be our sports roundup and the weekender edition. We shall also be going down the streets of Boya to meeting someone who does something for themselves to make ends meet, but also change the society in a positive way. That will be when we meet our guests on Where Ends Meet. And also we will be having Kenjo Man, who will be joining us for the Pidgin News, the segment where we get to give you information in the Pidgin language. On Salve Vicinus. Dear viewers, today is the World Albinism Day, and so we are celebrating with albinos. We know albinos is a pigmental deficiency. Well, because you lack melanin and you become a bit whitish. Yeah, you are an albino, or commonly called Mukala. We are raising awareness on albinism, and we'll say that we are breaking the misconstructs. We're breaking some of those social misconstructs about albinism, and also some of those hate speech and all of that. Today we're raising awareness against all of that. So albinism is not an illness, and we shouldn't treat them or albinos as one. Also, tomorrow we shall be celebrating the World Blood Donors Day, and so we've invited a guest to join us on the program and share with us why is it important to donate blood, and what do you do with the blood that people donate. So we've invited a head of the blood donation unit in the Southwest Regional Hospital in Boya to join us and share with us the importance of donating blood. Dear viewers, it's going to be a special program. It's going to be a wonderful program you don't want to miss. And we tell you, it's going to be great for you. My name is Yannick Funky, and I'm very humbled serving you today, your morning pilot, and giving you nothing short of turbulence. Of course, we also want to think about those who lost their lives. Over 41 persons lost their lives in India. An aeroplane just after taking off crashed, and over 241 persons who were there died. Only one survived. It could only be God. And so we are thanking God for seeing another beautiful day, and we say that we shouldn't amass wealth and think that we've made it all in life. What is value of life? What is that fulfillment of life? It is not about amassing wealth. It's not about becoming so famous, but it's about making life better for another person. It is about giving values to other people. And so we're inviting Glory Drops. It's an age-old a cappella group we know so well here in the Southwest region. They'll be bringing us this age-old music, beautiful music, Grand Cargo. No deep put your heart for ground cargo. It's a beautiful piece of music, and it will start our day in a very fine style. When we come back, we treat you to our reflection. Let's have this beautiful music.
No deep put your heart for ground cargo. Salve say one day he go finish yo. You go answer question now for God yo. Things for ground yo, them no the pay yo. You go answer question now for God yo. Things for ground yo, them no the pay. Every day you dey drive na big motor. Every day you dey win a fine goat yo. You know the before you get power for waka. When you dey wake up for road, when you dey making your girl, my sister, make my little fool you. Salve say you go answer for God yo, and that time I beg you no go day. When you dey wake up for road, when you dey making your girl, my brother, make money, don't fool you. Salve say you go answer for God, yo. And that time I beg you no go day. No deep put your heart for ground cargo. Salve say one day he go finish yo. You go answer question now for God, yo. Things for ground yo, them no the pay yo. You go answer question now for God yo. Things for ground yo, them no the pay.
I say now, make you tell God
open your heart, no hide secret yo.
We say now, make you tell we yo.
Open your heart, no hide secret.
When you go for church waiting, you dey find a
open your heart, no hide secret yo.
No you dey look na some woman for that corner
open your heart, no hide secret.
Or you dey look na some man wey you like
open your heart, no hide secret yo.
Or you dey look na some shoes wey you like
open your heart, no hide secret.
Or you dey look na some hairstyle wey you like
open your heart, no hide secret yo.
Or you dey look na some clothes wey you like
open your heart, no hide secret.
Beside you keep God for that kind of time yo. Things on ground yo, them no the pay.
No the put your heart for ground cargo. Salve say one day he go finish yo. You go answer question now for God yo. Things for ground yo, them no the pay yo. You go answer question now for God yo. Things for ground yo, them no the pay.
Now make you tell God
open your heart, no hide secret yo.
We say now make you tell we
open your heart, no hide secret.
Which kind meeting where you dey na member
open your heart, no hide secret yo.
You sure say that your meeting no be new
open your heart, no hide secret.
You dey chop people where dem dey sleep yo.
Open your heart, no hide secret yo.
You sure say you no dey drink real blood yo.
open your heart, no hide secret.
Who said you keep not for that cannot time you? Being small ground you them no the pay.
No deep put your heart for ground cargo. Salve say one day he go finish yo. You go answer question now for God yo. Things for ground yo, them no the pay yo. You go answer question now for God yo. Things for ground yo, them no the pay. You go answer question now for God yo. Things for ground yo, them no the pay yo. You go answer question now for God yo. Things for ground yo, them no the pay. You go answer question now for God yo. Things for ground yo, them no the pay yo. You go answer question now for God yo. Things for ground yo, them no the pay. You go answer question now for God yo. Things for ground yo, them no the pay yo. You go answer question.
You go answer question now for God. So you'll be accountable for whatever you do. Just be rest assured that whatever you're doing is being noted. Thank you very much, Glory Drops. They're a wonderful a cappella they're singing for us. Ground Cargo. All right, dear viewers, if you're just tuning in, this is Salve Vicinus you're watching here on DMR TV. We're very excited that you're watching us. And of course, we are urging you to stay tuned because we have a lot in store for you. Now, we are inviting Reverend Father Jean-Labé Bottemac to treat us to our reflection of today. And definitely, the reflection aims to give us enough inspiration, spiritual nourishment so that we can have a very bright day, a very profitable day, a very fruitful day. So join me, let us have Father Jean-Labé Bottemac, who is at the makeshift pulpit here in the studio, to treat us to our reflection page. That will be yours right after this break.
In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Amen. Good morning, televiewers of DMR TV, and welcome to our daily reflection. Today is Friday, the 13th of June, 2025. And we shall be reflecting on our gospel passage. A reading from the Holy Gospel according to Matthew. At that time, Jesus said to his disciples, "You have heard that it was said, 'You shall not commit adultery.' But I say to you that everyone who looks at a woman lustfully has already committed adultery with her in his heart. If your right eye causes you to sin, pluck it out and throw it away. It is better that you lose one of your members than that your whole body is thrown into hell. And if your right hand causes you to sin, cut it off and throw it away. It is better that you lose one of your members than that your whole body goes into hell. It was also said, whoever divorces his wife, let him give him a certificate, let him give her a certificate of divorce. But I say to you that everyone who divorces his wife, except on the ground of unchastity, makes her an adulteress. And whoever marries a divorced woman commits adultery." The Gospel of the Lord. Praise to you, Lord Jesus Christ. My dear brothers and sisters, today Jesus talks about adultery, divorce, lust, and mortification. Such drastic actions that Christ is asking. And we all know that Moses forbade adultery. But now Jesus goes deeper and forbids not just adultery, but a lustful look. Because everything begins from the heart. And so what I want us to understand is, a friend of mine once said that marriages don't fail. You know, people always say, oh, this marriage failed, this marriage did not work, and the rest. Marriages don't fail, but people fail in marriages because what God has instituted can never fail. And so, when I reflected upon that, I realized that we all are called to work together. And that is why Jesus Christ is giving us the tool in our hands. If your eye causes you to sin, pluck it out. If your hand causes you to sin, cut it out. And those who talk too much, if your tongue causes you to gossip, cut it off. But I hope we are not taking all of that literally. But what I want to say is, Jesus is telling us that the things that can lead us to sin is sometimes very essential in our own lives. It is not about giving away clothes that you don't need. It's not about doing charity. It's not about giving your leftovers to other people. It's about what causes us to sin can be very, very, very central and essential to our existence. That's why he uses the example of an eye, a hand, and me using the example of a tongue. And all of this is simply to tell us that what may cause us to sin is not just so much those things that are out there, but the things that we cling to very tightly. It could be our phones. Sometimes we will say, no, we are in an Android generation. We need to make phone calls. We need to know where our children are. We need to browse. We need to do so many things. But in as much as these devices are important, what do we use them for? They may cause us to go to sites and get ourselves initiated in areas where we will never ever get out of it. It could equally be our friends. Some of us will say, no, I cannot do without this, my friend or that friend. They are essential, they are important because company is good. We always say the more the merrier, the more friends you have and many other things. But then the honest truth is that some friends will never lead us on the right path. And yet, we stick with them. We drain our finances just because we sit in beer parlors and do other things. I am not saying that all friends are bad. What I'm saying is that it's for us to prune ourselves. And pruning is hard. Detaching is a problem. Another thing could be our jobs. We all need jobs. We all need money. We all need that which can keep us going. But what if you find yourself in a place where the job is causing you to kill your own conscience? People are out there crying and suffering. And yet, we are there signing death certificates, faking documents, announcing that this person is dead, this person is gone because we want to claim their money. That can cost us a lot. And so there are so many things we can talk on and on. But today, what I want to say is, when Jesus Christ is teaching us all of these things, he's not asking us to cut our legs, to amputate ourselves and the rest. What he is simply saying is, the things that can lead us to hell are sometimes the things we consider very essential for our living. And so, my dear brothers and sisters, today I just want us, as we begin our day, let us reflect. Let us take a moment and ask ourselves, what is it that can make me not embrace the full gift of God? What is it that blocks me from being able to witness the presence of God in my life? And with that, we'll be able to prune ourselves. We have to make the greatest journey in life, the journey inward, to remove that which can harm us and try as much as possible to create room for that which can make us grow and become better. I wish you all a wonderful day. The Lord be with you, and may the blessing of Almighty God, the Father, and the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Amen.
All right. Thank you very much, Reverend Father Jean-Labe Bartomac, for the reflection page. And I think that you have explicitly given us reasons to do an introspection on how much contributions we make to the society, which of course is very, very great, very important. Thank you so much once again, Father, and see you on Monday for yet another edition of the program, or the slot reflection here on Salve Vicinus. Right, away from our reflection, we're going to be inviting Sister Florence Awambeng right about now to treat us to the saint of the day. Which saints are we celebrating today, and what can we emulate from their lifestyle? That's the question we're going to be answering in a moment after listening to the saint of today and how they lived ordinarily in an extraordinary way here on earth. Up next is a saint of the day with Sister Florence Awambeng.
Good morning, dear brothers and sisters. God has given us the opportunity to see a new day, and we are grateful to God. Today, the 13th of June, we celebrate the feast of Saint Anthony of Padua. Anthony is one of the popular feast saints we have in the church. And Anthony is many things to many people in the church. Anthony is a priest and doctor of the church, patron of the poor and those who have suffered loss. We are going to see how and why. His journey as a servant of God began as a very young man who decided to join the Augustinian in Lisbon, giving up a future of wealth and power to be a servant of God. Giving up a future of wealth and power to become a servant of God. After some time, he entered the Franciscan order, went to Italy, and was stationed in a small hermitage where he spent most of his time praying, reading the scripture, and doing mental tasks. During an ordination, Anthony preached, and his sermon was so outstanding to those who expected an unprepared speech and knew not the Spirit's power to give people's word. He was recognized as a great man of prayer and a great scripture and theology scholar. Anthony became the first to teach theology to his fellow brothers. Soon, he was called from the post to preach to the Albanians in France, using his profound knowledge of scripture and theology to convert and reassure those who had been misled by their denial of Christ's divinity and of the sacraments. Over and over again, God called him to something new in his plan. Every time Anthony responded with renewed zeal and self-sacrifice to serve his Lord Jesus more completely. When he became very ill, he requested to be taken back to Padua, where he died after receiving the last sacraments. I'll end his life here, but we can go on because of the power of these saints who started doing the things of God at a very tender age, when he became an Augustinian brother. He joined it at a tender age because he came from a very wealthy family and the future of wealth were all over him. But that did not excite him in any way. It did not excite him. His major concern was to be a servant of God. He left the Augustinians and joined the Franciscans and went to Italy. And when he joined, he did not want to be popular. He decided to go and hide in a hermitage where he was going to do only prayers, reading of scriptures, and then manual work. But as they say, a golden egg has no hiding place. They decide to humiliate him, I would say. In an ordination, they just called him to come and preach without any preparation, and they were wondering what he was going to say. But he preached so well that people were touched and they got converted. So he had to leave the hermitage and came out to start teaching theology to his fellow brothers. In every stage, Anthony accepted his appointment with all great humility, but with zeal to work for God, which was what he had set out from the origin, to be a servant of God. To be a servant of God. He used all his energy for the service of God. He used his intelligence, rejected wealth because of God. What else do we need? What else do we need outside God? And of course, dear brothers and sisters, if you have God, the rest will follow. If you have God, try it. It's lived experience. If you actually have God, when I mean I have God, you know God, you are doing the things of God, you are following it the way you're supposed to do, the rest will follow. You will never be in want. That's what happened to Anthony of Padua. Patron of poor, those who have suffered loss. I know now, whenever we know him for being the, patron of missing things. Most of the time when my thing gone, I say, St. Anthony, please, can you help me to locate it? And he does. This is the life he lived. And dear brothers and sisters, this is the life we are all called to live. When we portray the life of saints like this, is to encourage us to always emulate them, to always see that aspect which we can copy and make our own Christian lives better. His all dedication was for the service of God. For the service of God. Some of us are for the service of money. Some of us, our life is for the service of beer, wine, drink. Some of us, our life is for the service of food, for the service of property. Think about what St. Anthony of Padua has taught us today, so that our own life, that whatever we even have, we should use it for the service of God. That my car, I can use it for the service of God. That my house, we can use it for the service of God. So people have done it. People are still doing it. People are doing it here in this our diocese. So nobody is asking you to do anything which is bigger or extraordinary. So my dear brothers and sisters, St. Anthony has given us a lesson today, and we are to follow. We wish all those who go by the name Anthony, Antonia, a very, very happy feast day. We also remember all the institutions and parishes which are St. Anthony, not forgetting our own Anthony of Padua parish here in Boyatown, the parish where we, Divine Mercy Television, belongs to. So today is our feast day. Wish all our parishioners a very, very happy feast day. The priests who are there, a very, very happy feast day. And pray and hope that God, through their intercession, will help us to grow in grace as we struggle in our faith journey. God bless you all and happy feast day.
Immense thanks to you, Sister Florence Awambeng, for bringing for us Saint of the Day today. Like Sister said, we're celebrating with Saint Anthony of Padua, and a saint who, also martyred. Today is a memorial in the church, yes. So we are remembering the life of Saint Anthony of Padua. And of course, he lived a very virtuous life and a life that we are called to emulate. So we are extending special greetings to the Christians of St. Anthony of Padua Parish in Boyatown and all those who go by the name Anthony. Anthony, we're greeting all of you, and the derivative Tony, we greet all of you and say happy feast day to all of you. And of course, for all of us, we are called to mind to emulate the life of St. Anthony of Padua today. All right, dear viewers, if you're just tuning in, this is Salve Vicinus you're listening to, and it is coming to you live from GMR TV. Straight away, we're going to the news desk to find out what is making news in the world of information. And of course, Magdalene Wondo is standing by to treat us just to the latest of the news. Let's go and have Divine Mercy Infos with Magdalene Wondo.
In order to ensure a trend of continuity, the Bishop Rogan Ex Students Association USA chapter are rounding up with the renovation works of St. Charles Luanga, one of the dormitories harboring the students of Bureau Call. They have a goal as to carry out this task to complete renovation works before the start of the new academic year 2025-2026. Bernard Asogne with the details.
As follow-up and a source of continuity for the project handed to the minor seminary during its Diamond Jubilee celebration by the Bishop Rogan Ex Student Association, the same association, precisely the USA chapter, have yet again championed the renovation of another dormitory in view of the upcoming academic year 2025-2026. Amongst the renovation works earmarked and done by the association in the dormitory is the tiling of hostel floors, the refurbishing of the bathing cells, and as well a comfortable and durable toilets for the students, shutters and beds that are on the way.
The earmarked work at the toilet, the bathing cells, the tiling of the floor, the shutters, and beds into the dormitory. When you look at the present state of the dormitory, you discover that they have gone far away with the project. We want to use this opportunity to sincerely thank them for the wonderful work they are doing, and we know they will continue to do.
Beholding the beauty and new form which the renovation works have done, it tells already of how much gratitude the ex-students have for their alma mater and as well what they received during their own periods of formation.
And I think if they are doing this, it is in a way to recognize what they received from this house of formation, and they are applying back whatever they receive so that it will continue to bring a positive impact to the life of the students while in school.
With the aim of such a project to enhance the living condition of the students who now reside in the seminary, it leaves a great impact on them now and what the future holds for them.
Carrying out a project like this for the good of the community is in a way educating the young ones to understand that it is good to show appreciation to their alma mater. It is good to care for the gifts that you receive so that people will be motivated to continue with the good work they are doing.
Considering that about 75% of the work has been done, attention in the days ahead will now be given to the shutters, the ceiling, and the hostel beds before the start of the new school year.
Cameroonians, like the global community, observed on June 12, 2025, a day set aside against child labor. This year's theme, Progress is Clear, but there is more to do. Let's speed up our efforts. Despite national and international efforts to eliminate the practice, many children across the country are still engaged in hazardous labor, which robs them of education, safety, and dignified childhood. Stakeholders are calling for stronger enforcement of child protection laws and community sensitization to break the cycle of abuse. Details in the following report. As Cameroon celebrates the month of the child this June, a familiar yet troubling sight continues to unfold across towns. Children hawking on the streets, selling everything and engaged in hazardous labor. These midday hawkers, no older than 8, raise pressing questions about the boundary between family contribution and child exploitation. According to the regional chief of Service for Child Protection at the Delegation of Social Affairs, programs have been implemented to address child labor.
Cameroon is first of all a state of law, and the state of Cameroon has ratified so many treaties, conventions, protecting humans, protecting children in one way or another. So we carry out support services through the assistance that we offer to families, vulnerable families. The Ministry of Social Affairs make provision what we call punctual assistance. This punctual assistance, after inquiries, we shortlist some families who put together their files, and when we study them, they become eligible to benefit from some financial assistance.
Ministry of Social Affairs records 60% of child hawkers in Cameroon miss out on regular schooling. The risk of exploitation and psychological harm is dominant. For many families, especially in urban areas grappling with poverty and inflation, children's participation in laboring is not seen as an abuse, but as a necessary contribution to household income. Yet, child rights advocates warn that this normalized practice may be robbing a generation of its future.
Child labor adversely affects children's rights. It is a human right. It is a human right, and every adult is called upon to ensure that children are protected wherever and whenever the need arises, wherever we find children.
Children helping their families is one thing, but when a child spends an entire day on the streets exposed to danger with little time for school or rest, that crosses the line into child labor.
They are exposed to some of those activities that are life-threatening. You see that it even reduces the population of children, and they are the leaders of tomorrow. If we cannot protect them from this kind of activities, that will like hamper their full development, their full growth, to enable them express their potentials as children.
Commemorated every year on June 12 since 2002, as this year's theme says, progress is clear but there is more to do. Let's speed up efforts. The government and civil societies are calling for clearer legislation and sustainable support systems for children's rights. Activities to commemorate the 30th anniversary of Association of Student Journalists of the Department of Journalism and Mass Communication, University of Boya, has kicked off Thursday, June 12, 2025, with a sports walk and a gala football match between the current and alumni of the department. The association, which celebrates its 30th anniversary this year, was created in 1995. Hilarion Tukov captured this event. His report.
The students gathered in their numbers this June 12, 2025 to kick off the celebration of the 30th anniversary of the Association of Student Journalists of the Department of Journalism and Mass Communication at the University of Buea. The streets of Moliko serve as the backdrop for this event as the students proudly chanted lyrics in honor of their association. The walk ended at the university campus. Jukan Princely is the vice president of the Association of Student Journalists. He emphasized the significance of this event.
The purpose for this sports walk basically was to raise an awareness of the existence of the Department of Journalism, but more importantly, the Association of Student Journalists, University of Buea, which is one of the pioneer government, student-led governments in the University of Buea, created as far back as 1995. We do this sports walk to draw people's attention to the fact that we are celebrating the 30th year of the association's existence, and that at this very pivotal moment, it is important for us to come together and see how we take the association to the next level.
The walk aimed at raising awareness for the association was followed by a gala football match between the present student journalists and alumni from the department, Dr. Stephen Dode, a lecturer in the department, and the personal envoy of Dr. Mrs. Ndobeltha, referred to as the mother of JMC, officiated the kick-off. Dr. Ndode conveyed a message of solidarity and love among the students and the alumni, encouraging them to contribute generously to the department as to enhance training resources.
We are so pleased to have our students, the Student Association of the department, celebrate 30 years. It's a great milestone for us and a wonderful moment for us to reflect on where we've come from, how far we've gone, and where we are heading to. The special message is that of solidarity, that of unity, that of love, that of coming together to see how we as past and current students can be able to help the department. So we are very happy, we are very proud.
On the pitch, the students were joined by a member of the first graduating batch from the 1990s. For the veteran journalist, participating in the event was a privilege, and she urged the present students to work hard.
We are having the 30th anniversary, which is good. At least you're keeping JMC going on, and then people still know that we are existing. And of course, you cannot really grind a journalist because we have the mouth, we have the microphone, we have the AIs, we have everything. The young beast, just follow the line. Make sure you study so that you are not embarrassed when you want to do anything. Like you are in occasion, you are in an interview, you want to talk to people. You always have to do research. To have your background information before you go do anything and answer questions.
The grand ceremony to mark the association's 30th anniversary is scheduled for Friday, June 13, 2025 at Open Commons of the University of Buea.
The family of Pa Vincent Thomas Lanjo has documented his history and activities and donated the book to the Library of Pan-African Institute of West Africa, PAIDWA. This donation is a way for the family to keep the legacy of their father alive. Aloysius Likier with the details.
The family of Pa Vincent Thomas Lanjo, a Cameroonian visionary, a politician, a lover of knowledge, and one-time acting prime minister under SML Ndeli, in the drive to give back to the communities he impacted while alive, have documented his history, activities, and contributions to the history of West Cameroon in a book and donated to the Pan-African Institute for Development, PAIDWA, so that the younger generation can learn from his activities as well as copy from his good practices. The 4-chapter book is thanks to the writings of Vincent Lanjo, who documented every aspect of his life, something that the younger generation are encouraged to do. The donation gave the family and the staff of PAIDWA the opportunity to relive Pa's legacy by discussing about his great strives as concerned politics, social life, and family. the third daughter of Pa Vincent Thomas Lanjo, says it is a privilege for the family to share the history and legacy of their father.
Pa did a lot for us as children, and this is our way of saying thank you, Daddy, because we also knew that he was doing a lot of writing in the background. Every evening he would shut his door and we knew he was writing. So what other way do we have to say thank you to somebody who was so dedicated not only to family life but to education and to his country? Believed in networking, the tradition and the council and the mission, they needed to be together for the good of the country, for the good of the people. And that is what really propelled him to the level of joining politics and giving back to the people, giving back to the country what he had learned. So it's a pleasure. He taught here and we thought that we should bring it back to you people here in the university.
Professor Julius Victor Ngor, who worked closely with the visionary, gives us a synopsis of his contribution to the history of the nation.
He was a first-class politician, and he was among the 13 Southern Cameroon's elected representatives to represent the territory during the period of the British administration of Southern Cameroon as an integral part of Nigeria. And he was one of those who eventually set the pace for party politics in Southern Cameroon. He, with Dr. E.M.L. Indeli, John Gufoncha, S.T. Mona and the others, founded the KNC, a living archive, and this was well demonstrated during the Bakassi crisis. He was one of the resource persons that the Cameroon team from time to time consulted. He had all the important documents on the Bakassi question.
The director of PEDWA, Dr. Gladys, says the institute is privileged to share in the legacy of Thomas Lanjo with all his achievements.
We had a visit from the family of late Pa Vincent Thomas Lanjo, who happened to be a one-time vice president of the Southern Cameroon and a strong political activist. This delegation was headed by his third daughter. What a masterpiece that carried the history of the visionary leader, which is supposed to inform the population about the life and the struggles of Southern Cameroon and the contributions that Pa has done to the political atmosphere of Cameroon. We are very elated. This document is going to be put in the library, open to the entire population of Boya, Cameroon and West Africa.
The clarion call at the close of this event is that young people and present politicians and historians should strive to live their lives in a way that they will be celebrated when they are gone and should document their achievements for the future generation.
And that report wraps up at Divine Mercy Infos this morning. More details will be yours at exactly 7 p.m. on Divine Mercy Prime. Thanks for your keen attention. I've been Magdalene Wondo. Stay tuned.
Thank you so much, Magdalene Wondo, for entreating us to the news this morning. Quite interesting. A lot to grapple with from across the world. Philanthropic gestures and also, memoirs and all of that constituted our news this day. Very interesting. Thank you so much, Magdalene. And like you indicated, at 7 p.m. tonight, we shall be having a fresher package with Eileen Sama. So you want to stay tuned at exactly 7 p.m. because we're going to be having Divine Mercy Prime That's a primetime news this day. Now, if you're just tuning in, this is Salve Vicinus you're watching, and it is a program that brings to you inspiration, education, information, and entertainment. We've been inspired with lots of interesting topics from Father Bartomak and Sister Florence. And then we've been informed by Magdalene. Still to come, we're going to have some more information, this time around from the papers, with Eileen Sama. But first, we're going to be introducing our topic of discussion today. Before I do so, let me introduce our newscaster, Magdalene Wondo, whom I'm well pleased to be with. Mado, good morning. How are you doing?
Good morning, Yannick. I'm doing good.
You're doing good. Mado, why are you always calm? This is morning. Come on.
This is my nature.
Please make that. Try to boost up that nature. You just think about it. Oh, Magdalene. Okay, you're so hilarious. All right. So, how was your night?
It was okay.
It was so.
Thank God it's Friday.
Thank God it's Friday. Another weekend is calm. So share with us, how's your weekend going to look like?
I don't know. It's just going to be a regular weekend, although my choir, Holy Trinity Choir, is celebrating its 5th day on Sunday. So I've been having a 9 days novena to commemorate this activity. We're going to also invite our sister choir from Our Lady of Sorrows, Holy Family Choir, to celebrate with us. So that's how my Sunday is just going to look like. It's just going to be a day of thanksgiving and celebration. To be part of a choir that has lasted more than 20 years.
Oh my God, that's interesting. And that reminds me, your parish is celebrating its feast day today.
Exactly.
How does that make you feel?
I feel happy. It's another feast day. It's another opportunity for the parishioners to thank God for keeping them strong throughout. You know, some parishioners were very, very intense with the novena and all of that. So it's a way to also relieve themselves, thanking God for answering their prayer intentions and all of that. So I'm sure they're very happy.
Right. So we're wishing all the parishioners of St. Anthony of Padua Parish a happy feast day.
Definitely.
St. Anthony of Padua Parish is
the citadel of God's presence.
Cool. That is good. So we're wishing the citadel of God's presence a happy feast day. It's a great day for all of us. Now, a topic of discussion. Tomorrow we will be celebrating the World Blood Donation Day. It is a day to raise awareness on the importance of donating blood to save a life. Yes, when you give blood, you save a life. It is only when you are on the emergency table, when you need blood, that is when you know the importance of donating. Right. And so today we want to join our voices to the millions to talk about the importance of donating blood. And a question that we're asking today is, have you ever donated blood? And if so, what would inspire you to do so? Yes. Have you ever donated blood? What would inspire you to do so? So, I start with you. Have you ever donated blood?
I've never been a donor. I've never donated blood to anybody. But then, out of empathy to save a life, it has never occurred to me, honestly, to go for donation and all of that. But then, out of empathy, I can donate blood if I also have enough blood in me too.
Everyone has so much blood. Everyone has just so much blood that you can give it out there.
But some people are not advised to donate blood.
Of course, it is only after doing the screening that you'll be advised that perhaps your blood volume, volume is low, so you can't donate. However, out of every 10 persons, I think 8 persons can donate blood. You can only know that you can donate if you go and do the screening. And mind you, screening that costs about 35,000 is done for free to you. You check yourself from all the other sexually related, how do they call this? All those other internal illnesses to check yourself, and before you're screened, before you donate blood. And when you get to donate blood, you're saving an emergency situation. Because even as we're talking, there's an emergency situation happening. Somebody's having an accident, another person is of course
maybe it's
having
being
low
operated
blood,
upon also.
yeah, being operated, all those things are happening, and somebody needs blood.
That's right.
The importance of donating blood. So, what would you really advise? I mean, I don't know. Somebody who has never donated blood, what can you even advise somebody? You should start by advising yourself.
Of course.
So, what are you going to advise yourself and those? Well, because some people also have some kind of a phobia, like you feel, I don't see the need for donating blood. Right. Yes, but when you need that blood, when you are in that situation, you start making calls.
That's right.
I beg, who is in blood group O or blood group B?
And it's also important to know your blood
group is very important. Yes, I mean all of those things.
I think if there's even a free screening exercise, everyone should just grasp the opportunity to just.
There is always a free screening. Magdalene, if you walk up to the hospital now and say, I want to donate blood, you are automatically screened for free.
Okay.
And you give your blood.
Okay.
I mean, the procedures are very easy. Yes, it's done. You as a human, you donate blood every 3 months.
Wow.
Yes, because you're not advised to donate blood yes, in a row. So after 3 months you donate blood.
You do it quarterly.
Quarterly, yes.
Okay.
And of course you save life so much. And if you're a regular blood donor like myself, your name gets to be written down, and there are some benefits that come along with it in the hospital. Yes. So madam, make it okay. I want you to advise. Talk to those who have not donated blood.
I'm advising my fellow persons, us in the group who have not donated blood. Let's make an effort, or let's take advantage of the day as we commemorate the day to tomorrow, to go to the hospital for screening, and then if we are validated as donors, we could just give even a pile of blood. I think that's how they do it.
A pint.
Yes.
A pint of blood will save life. Will save 9. Okay. A pint of blood will save 9. That's the normal slogan they use.
We'll try.
Yes. Please
we'll think about it.
Don't think about it, but just do it. You will not think about everything. Just do it. And of course, write your name. I mean, it's also part of the services you do to humanity.
That's right.
Because you don't know whom your blood is saving. Yes. And mind you, the new procedure in the hospital is that you don't buy blood. You know, they no longer sell blood. Okay. Yes. So if your patient needs blood,
it's free of charge.
No, it's free. You need to look for somebody to replace that blood. So madam, either by hook or crook, you will donate.
Okay.
Yeah, so they no longer sell blood.
Okay,
but if your patient, yes, you must replace the blood.
Okay.
So that is how it is. So don't find yourself in a situation where you need replacement because you will walk around, don't know anybody. It's important. Well, we have invited the head of the head of the blood donor unit. Okay. That's Dr. Esono Sonny. Yes, he's head of the blood donation unit in the Boya Regional Hospital to come and explain for us blood donation and how everything works across. And I'm sure in a moment he will be telling us quite a lot.
Okay.
Yes, but another thing I want to tell you today, that day, World Blood Donation Day is tomorrow.
Yes.
Tomorrow, Saturday.
That's right.
That will be celebrated. But today we are celebrating albinism. What is albinism to you?
It's the lack of melanin in a person's skin.
Yeah.
It makes you prone to skin cancer and blindness.
Right.
Yes.
So, you mean like albinism is prone to skin cancer? I hardly know of any albino that has skin cancer.
No, they are prone because they do not have melanin that protects their skin
from ultraviolet rays.
Yes, that's what they always advise them to cover their skin or use sunscreen. Their skin is, when they expose their skin, you know, even people who bleach their skin, they always have to cover their skin because they have destroyed their melanin, and ultraviolet light now just gets into their skin, making them vulnerable to cancer, skin cancer.
Do you know that some parts in the world we still have people who are still they feel like albinos are some kind of people?
Yes, that's
like Tanzania, they still turn around. Yes. You know, there is also this myth in the Bakwe culture that Epasamoto love albinos, which of course that's just a myth that we grew and we knew and all of that, but it's a terrible myth because among the Bakweans we have lots of albinos who are doing so well. So we have the musicians, we have the professors, we have the reverend ministers of God, we have the doctors, we have the delegates and all of that. who are doing exceedingly well in the society, who are albinos, and we're extending special greetings to them. I like us, before we have our press review, because Eileen Sama is already here, let us have this short report about World Albinism Day. And of course, when we come back after this short report, we're going to treat you to a press review. Let's have this report.
Albinism in Cameroon, just like in other African countries, seems to be a misunderstood phenomenon, as many people do not understand the complex experiences of persons with albinism.
There are villages and communities where persons with albinism or children with albinism, once a mother delivers a child with albinism, they'll be killed. In Abuja here, there are about 60 communities in Abuja that is happening.
Albinos who lack melanin in the body continue to be ridiculed for their color and looks. Doctors explain that the absence of melanin also gives rise to sight problems to albinos and makes them vulnerable to the sun. Added to this, albinism is caused by a gene from either parents. Thus, albinos are not to be feared or looked down as less humans. Albinos, known for their intelligence, are striving in different domains in life.
In my head, I'm James Bond, I'm Batman, I'm Iron Man. Those are the kind of roles I'm dreaming about playing, and I'm training myself. I'm working. I've started hitting the gym, starting to work out, because trying to build my Hollywood body, because those are things that I want to do. Those are places I want to go, and eventually start producing my own films.
The plight of albinism is therefore one that needs to be brought to the limelight. Reason why different associations to break the stereotype have been set up.
The Albino Foundation was created to debunk the wrong information that persons have about persons with albinism, and to create an equal opportunity for every person with albinism to thrive in the society.
Celebrating World Albinism Day should therefore be a wake-up call for the end of stigmatization against persons with albinism.
All right, thank you very much. So we are all joined to break the silence and end stigmatization, stereotype, societal misconstructs about albinism, and of course live with them. Of course, here in Cameroon, I'm sure we're very tolerant. Cameroon is a very nice country, and that mentality of trying to discriminate against albinos has long faded away. We don't have that. Those who are living with albinism in this country are as good and as productive as any other person, and we no longer have that. From childhood right up to adulthood, everyone respects and live with albinos like normal persons, and of course that's why Cameroon is a great country. But in other parts of the world, albinism is still a very serious issue, especially Tanzania and Uganda, where we're having a lot of stigma, a lot of stereotype against albinos. So we're called to continue advocating against stigmatization and those societal misconstructs about albinos. Okay, so we say, well, happy World Albinism Day to everyone watching us, and we continue to break the silence. Right, if you're just tuning in, this is Salve Vicinus you're watching, and now we're going to treat you to what the papers are saying. And our anchor lady, our news page girl is here, that is Eileen Sama. Good morning to you, Eileen, and how are you doing?
Good morning, Yannick. I'm doing okay. Thanking God for today.
Right.
Yeah, a bright new day He's given us, so we are grateful.
We thank God for everything. So just quickly go through the papers. What are we going to be talking today?
Well, today we are going to talk about the cement factory that has been inaugurated by Prime Minister Joseph Diongute in the North region of Cameroon. Of course, tomorrow is the World Day for Blood, or blood donation, if I want to put it better. And we are hearing today that the country is in need of 400,000 sacks of blood, or blood packages. There's a way they call it, blood banks, or a pack of blood.
A pint of blood.
Thank you, that's the word. A pint of blood.
A pint of blood saves 9.
Yes, per year, and we are unable to produce this 400,000 per year. So the National Center for Blood Transfusion is working with its partners nationwide, calling on volunteers like you and I, Yannick, to donate our blood. Tomorrow is the International Day for Blood Donation, and we are called to do so we can be able to save lives. Politics, of course, yes, there's always going to be politics till October, and maybe even after. More pledges for President Paul Obiya, of course, across the national territory, and a whole lot more on this edition of Press Review. We'll be breaking that down in the minutes ahead.
Thank you very much. And straight away we go down to the press to find out what the papers are saying. It is courtesy Eileen Sama right after this break.
Hi there, televiewers. Huge thanks for staying with us this morning. Let's start with the Guardian Post newspaper, the Guardian Post Daily this morning. On its major headline, we are reading this morning that the Prime Minister, head of government, is in the North region or has officially inaugurated the Figu Cement factory. While doing so, the PM saluted President Biya's industrialization drive, as you can see on the cover page there, and reassures population of northern regions that President Biya has special attachment to their well-being. You get that copy and you can read more. In Yaoundé, we hear of this human interest story where police parades a woman suspected of murder and baby theft. Yes, that's in the capital city of Cameroon. 2025 presidentials, Eric Chinger urges journalists and influencers to rescue Cameroon's democracy. A very insightful and intriguing one there. And still concerning the 2025 presidentials, the NCC boss urges journalists as well to resist sensationalism and political instrumentalization. Yes, of course, you can get that story on the Guardian Post Gazette this beautiful day. Let's take on the Post Weekender. It's telling us about the Bamenda Ring Road, and we are hearing that World Bank is tarring the road, and it captions thus: World Bank tarring of Bamenda roads delayed again after 6 months. There's been some delays there, and the City Council waits in with the semblance of laterite. Okay, this is what is happening. So the City Council steps in and is using something similar to laterite used in the construction of roads, to fill in the gap. Get the paper and read more. Ahead of presidential elections, presidential majority leader tells Biya to not let anyone damage his legacy. Okay, you can get that one there, as we hear this morning. The UDP chairman El Haj Lawan Bako makes this statement. Senator Regina Mundi to combat maternal mortality with funds from book launched. This story resurfacing again this day, as we hear on the Post Weekender. Meantime, Kavaye urged MPs to champion voter registration for presidential election. We leave that gazette and take on municipal updates, which takes us to Figu in Garua. Diongute commissions ultra-modern cement factory, says facility reality of Biya's vision to industrialize nation. Okay, you can read that story on page 3 of municipal updates. And in Rome, Pope Leo XIV welcomes Bamenda archdioceses and pilgrims, as municipal updates captioned that peace. Urban infrastructure World Bank approves over 114 billion for climate resilient project. We are not going to leave that gazette and take on the Eagle's Eye. The Eagle's Eye this morning takes us to the Parliament and is talking about parliamentary diplomacy. Honorable Ago Oliver shines at a high-level United Nations conference in France. Yes, not in the country, but in France, as we hear this morning. And we also hear that Honorable Injo applauds Speaker's call to boost voter registration. Yes, that piece can be gotten on the Eagle's Eye Gazette today's edition. Let's now take on the pilot newspaper this morning. On top of the paper, we hear Eric Chinger urges Cameroonian journalists to resist now. Ahead of presidentials, what has he said and what is he saying? And in religious news, we hear Cameroonian pilgrims offer Pope Leo XIV togo and wooden chair. Yes, we can see His Grace Andrew Kea doing that beautiful and significant gesture to Pope Leo. All right, that said, we are going to leave that gazette and we take on the next one this morning, Afrique Info. Afrique Info, a French gazette, is looking at the characteristics of President Biya and Rene Emmanuel Sadi and likens both of them, saying that both men have same character traits. All right, you're encouraged to get the paper and read more about that, why they will liken President Biya and Rene Emmanuel Sadi in this edition of the paper. Let's now take on Realite Plus. Realite Plus is talking about Kavaye Gejibi, president of the National Assembly, and we're hearing this morning that he has appointed Ekema Emmanuel as the very first director of communication and public relations at the Glass House. Well, you can get the details on this edition of the paper. We encourage you to do the needful. Visit any kiosk of your choice and you will get the gazette. Info Sante talks health, and yes, of course, it is the paper that reflects on how Cameroon is in need of 400,000 pints of blood per year and the country is unable to produce. So how do we fill in the gap is the question Info Sante is asking. Well, the National Center for Blood Transfusion, working with other organizations, is encouraging every Cameroonian. It's worth reiterating that we should donate blood, from time to time, so that we can be able to save life. And still on health, Info Sante talks about the distribution of MILDA. MILDA is a French abbreviation of long-lasting mosquito bed nets that are being distributed across the national territory, and we are hearing that at the Nilon District Hospital this is ongoing, and the health officials are insisting that every authority in charge or administrator who is in charge of distributing, health personnel in charge of distributing, should make sure that this long-lasting treated mosquito bed nets get to the population that is in need of that. Well, we're going to now leave that gazette and we take on the next Eco News. Eco News Quotidien tells us this morning that the Minister of Finance, Louis Paul Motaze, is fighting against corruption, against fraud in his sector, and is definitely saying this is going to be an end to the billions that are being embezzled in the country, or let's say in the Ministry of Finance. You can get that paper and read more about how this Minister of Finance frowns again all those who have been embezzling in the sector. Away from that, we take on La Meteo, which focuses attention on presidentials 2025. We are hearing that Amadou Saduna, is calling on every Cameroonian to be vigilant and promote social cohesion cohesion. We encourage you to get that paper and read more about what Amadou Saduna has said. All right, that said, we take on Eco Sante, another gazette that focuses on health issues. It's telling us that a new batch of medical sanitary personnel have been released to the general public, or let's say they have graduated and are ready to get into the field of medicine to provide medical health care and everything that Cameroonians will need. This is in Ebolova. Yes, you can get the paper and read more about this batch which has been released in the Southwest region, who just graduated and are ready to serve in the medical sector. Away from that, L'Economie newspaper is talking about Sonara, and it's telling us that after 6 years of what happened, the sad incident, the fire incident in Sonara, government wants to rebuild, or is already in the process of rebuilding. So you can get more about that reconstruction plan for Sonara that is ongoing on this edition of L'Economie. Emergence newspaper is talking about public works, and we hear this morning that 3,000 personnel working on the public works ministry have been absent. They have not been to work in 2025. These absentee workers are being called to do the needful, as the minister and the ministry is working to make sure that there is order and responsibility in that said ministry. Presidential 2025 emergence shed lights on Akere Muna. Yes, of course. L'homme derrière le candidat. Okay, you can read more about this piece. Where is Akere Muna? What is he saying concerning presidential election? Is he a candidate? Is he going to be a candidate? We'll find out on this edition of the paper. Lady Sahel talks about cotton production, and is letting us know this morning that a kg of cotton now costs 250 francs CFA amid difficulties in production of this product. We urge you to get the paper and read more. Info Matin also gives an account of how Prime Minister Joseph Dion Ngute, inaugurates the cement factory in the Far North region in line with President Biya's import substitution plan for the country. We leave Info Matin, we take on Cameroon Tribune, which also has as main headline the cement factory that has been inaugurated, in the North region, shines or sheds light on this big gesture the government has taken for the production of cement in big quantities, so we can stop importing cement. And also Le Jour newspaper, same headline this morning, to reiterate that yes, of course, that cement factory has been inaugurated. And you can get the details on this edition of the paper. All right, we are going to move on to hear that in Douala, some taxi men have violated, or let's say disrespected municipal police over there in Douala. It's a human interest story. We want to urge you to grab a copy of the paper, and you can read and get all the details. We take on L'Actualité, which is talking about Father's Day, which is coming up on the 15th of June, and the paper is making a comparison between Mother's Day and Father's Day, and is saying that Father's Day is not giving as much, publicity, is not as celebrated as much as the Mother's Day is being celebrated. So you can get the paper and read why that is the situation in the country. Let's wrap up with Mutation newspaper this morning, which takes us to Baturi and Kambele, where we are hearing that a certain company owned by one big businessman in the country, Bonaventure Mvondo Assam, his workers are on the street. This company is into mining, and the workers say that they are being treated as slaves, and they are protesting against these unconducive work environments they find themselves in. So you can get the paper and read more about Bonivan in this edition of Mutation. That wraps up this edition of Press Review. It is the last one for the week. We urge you to visit any kiosk of your choice. You know, we challenge you this day to do the needful, buy your papers, your newspapers, and read so you can be informed. Thank you very much for viewing.
All right, thank you so much, Eileen Sama, for our review this morning. Quite interesting, different topics that we've discussed this morning on our papers. We're very grateful for it, and hopefully we see you again on Monday. Thank you so much. Well, in the meantime, dear viewers, this morning we're asking you, have you ever donated blood, and what will inspire you to do so? Now we want to go downtown Boya to find out with somebody out there what they are doing to impact life, what they are doing to make sure that life is better. That is our way ends meet. So we want to discover something out there that can inspire us this morning. That is on our Where Ends Meet page, courtesy Brother Ben. That song there. Let us look at what somebody is doing to put food on the table and inspire life. It is our Where Ends Meet.
Salve Vicinus, dear viewers. Thank you for joining us on yet another edition of your darling breakfast show on DMR TV. Today we have someone we want to discover. She sells fish. Call it dry fish, call it roast fish, but I'll prefer to go with dry fish because that's how it's commonly called. Mudfish, Molen, Bambalang. She's into the fish business, and we would definitely get to find out why she started this business, what inspired her, and if she's able to put food on the table, take care of family, make ends meet. Her story may get you thinking to go and start running your own little business, petty business, whatever it is. Be inspired by her story. Come, let's go and discover whom we are talking about. Mama, good morning.
Good morning.
Mama, your own name na waiting. Me, my own name na Eileen.
My name na Victorine.
Okay, Mama Victorine. Mama, you get some fine fish them here. I look and so I salivate. See the baby spit the almost drop for my mouth. So tell me about this your business. You don't do this business for how long?
I don't do the business for 17 years.
17 years. That's a very long time. Only for the Boya?
No, I don't do the business for Bamenda, for Yaoundé, and for Buya.
Okay, that's you don't work at 4 different towns in Cameroon.
Yes.
Okay, Mami, now wait to be make you decide say you want to do a fish business. Why fish business?
I do fish business because normally any business if you do, if you get more income, it's fine for do. Yes. Because when I do, so I get income then way at least I feel the hair my picking then day. I don't make the business for long. So for this business, I don't sponsor my picking then increase even for university. So I don't still make the business, I support my man. We don't build a house.
This is quite amazing. I fit talk so for English as a big grammar talker. That is wonderful. So, mommy, tell me, who's how you buy your fish?
No, for them I feel like they do one. The flat one.
Yes.
Do one and bambalang.
Yeah,
So bambalang fish. So I never call them a customer. They deliver for that market from Bambalang. They sell them for me.
Right from Bambalang, that's for the
Yes,
region.
yes. So I sell them. So I sell it in Bambalang. I sell mud fish.
And what fish this?
No, mud fish don't finish. And then like this one, like this one, the one mullet. So we always buy like the mullet for conjecam. For conjecam, we dry am.
Dry am, smoke am. So it take how many days for smoke the fish?
Only one day.
Only one day.
One night.
Okay.
If you dry for morning time, you sleep for the next morning time. You start sell am.
And when you sleep, so the one the way you don't sell am, you don't sell am, or it is spoil. How you preserve am?
Where you sell am, it remain. If I sell am, it remain. I go put out fire.
Okay.
At least so that me warm, so that anything wey don't be inside the gems may die.
Okay. Correct. Bambalang Lake, how will you tie am? So the one so now much?
1,000.
1,000. Okay. Then for the mullet them.
3 for 5,000 and 4 for 5,000.
Okay. All right. Mommy, for this business where you do one, so what be the challenges them? Because all business them, no matter you send away to you, whether you should not even that one they for inside shop then, so they get challenges. What be your own challenges then for this business for fish where you do and dry fish where you do? And then when you buy fish here, wait till the make away the business not to go smooth. Maybe for preserve the fish on one and you want spoil sometimes they will lose this money.
Just because country strong now, because when I carry and they way, it be get for big good at the sea say oh. But if I carry and they way, no get for big good, so I remember the next day I will sell and fine. I will sell and all.
So, Mommy Victorine, we want to know, would you say as a way you did beat, I don't know, fly them? They call that thing for your hands, everything. Or now wait to be the use for that thing?
Use for this thing now because I don't like any may fly enjoy the overland for my fish.
Yes.
Now why would they make and so that when they fly one land, at least I feel dry and so that I may not shit anything to move for day.
Okay.
Now why would they ever drive and so? Because normally if you carry fish fly they know you can't that means they don't throw it that chemical there. So normally fish way in a good fish fly they get for most come there. Because when you want to go market, you see in Janga, even Janga don't overdrive fly more can they now for sure say the fee be good. Because when feed they way fly no come they mean say the fee no be good. It means say they don't buy the fish and then they pull the chemical the way enough make fly may come for the and way no be good.
No. You do waka how many like you do waka go very far with them.
I do come Minya, I go my 17, come my 17, I come Morocco, I go me back from Minya.
Okay, mommy. Mommy, to be advised with the game for young girl them, young boy them, where they shouldn't for us no get work, they just lazy around, so one then they thief, so what they do kind thing and say they want to make money for this life. What do you go advise them, Mama Victorine?
No, I feel advise them say normally life na for try no, life na for try. If you don't, you don't know, nothing for do. You see, like mommy, like me too, I make like the business. If you can ask me, I will show you the way I make and no. So that at least you to fit do them. I feel they get on small money. I feel they get manage your own life.
No, not true thing. So, Mama Victorine, we for Divine Mercy Radio Television, we want to wish you the best for this business. We pray say 17 years, maybe not 17 days for you. May you also get power for the worker, the push this truck, the sell this your fish for continue to take care of your picking them, and say may God give you long life because say this one a very strong thing where you do for support family, for even make Cameroon to develop because you solve some problem for this life. You provide job and you take care for family. You earn a living from which way you do.
Okay, thank you very much.
Okay.
Thank you very much for una good work.
Okay, thank you. So I go ask Kenjaman, give me that money. So give me that money. Ma even take one bundle of fish for you. Because it shows say I get to must go test the bamba. Start something to earn a living. Salve Vicinus, thank you for viewing.
All right, thank you very much, Eileen Sama, for our Where Ends Meet. Of course, we met this dry fish seller, a wonderful lady who has a lot to advise the world. Thank you so much, and hopefully we're going to have another segment of Where Ends Meet on Monday. In the meantime, dear viewers, we're going straight away to the world of sports because John Philip Wala is present here in the studio. Well, without wasting so much time, let's have this transitional imperative. When we come back, of course, John Philip will be anchoring the sport package. That will be yours right after this break.
Dear viewers of GMR TV, good morning, viewers of the morning show. Without much ado, we are going to dive into the world of sports. We are going to go to the Northwest Regional League, the games that have been scheduled for this weekend, both in the University Stadium and the GS Nibum Field. Grace of Hope will play against Dream Team. Option Sports will play Family Warriors. Rangers is going to play against Vision Sports. Rockland FC is going to play against Quen FC. And Simath is going to play against Bafut FC. So too, Hilltop Strikers is going to play Salt United. Abakwa Boys are going to play Mancon United, and the Kilum Mountain FC is going to play against My Soccer Center. Rainbow in the last game is going to play against Kumbu Strikers. So we'll go now into the unofficial classification of the league as it was signed by the Secretary General of the Northwest FECAFOOT office, which places Dream Team at the top, Ranger in Pool A. It places Dream Team at the top, Rangers FC, second Vision FC, Simath, Bafut United, and Grace of Hope. So too in Pool B, Mancon United tops the pool with 15 points, All Stars, Abakwa Sports, Rainbow, and Kumbu Strikers. In Pool C, we have the Option Sports is topping the pool with 16 points, Achiko FA, Rockland, Quen FC, and Family Warriors, while Hilltop Strikers and Salt United are topping the first two positions in the Group D stages in the Group D pool, while My Soccer Center and Donga United are at the bottom. And worthy of note here is that some referee, Muka Negies, has been seriously warned for filing incorrect scores in the match form, and the team management of Grace of Hope Football of Bafut, they have been seriously warned by the FECAFOOT Regulation Board for entering the field of play during a match due to some contesting there from the fans and supporters of Grace of Hope during one of their matches against Achiko, yes. And then we are going to the Elite One, the Elite 2 up and down playoffs. In the Elite 2 up and down playoffs, we had the first game there that was against Fovu of Baham and Ishosha, where Ishosha lost to Fovu of Baham 2-3. There was a controversy in that match there at the last minute when Fovu was awarded a penalty, and even though they missed the penalty, but a rebound there, they scored the goal, and Ishosha lost to Fovu. While in the next game that played, ISFAB lost to Union Sportive de Yaoundé 1-0, and there was the next game there that Racing of Bafoussam played a 0-0 tie with FC Yaoundé. And then the playoffs again, the up playoffs now, that saw Avion beating Bafmen United 1-0. You know, Bafmen United is one of the representatives of the Northwest region that are trying to play the playoffs to go to Division 1. But on this first game, they lost the game. So too, our representative of the Southwest Regional League, the Southwest Region, Ishosha, who is struggling to maintain, also lost. And then the next game there, Tekase lost to Unisportif de Bafang 2-1. While Eglo de Menwa had a successful game there versus Atlantic SA. And this game with Atlantic SA, Atlantic SA had to concede two red cards. And then at the last game there of the MTN Elite 2 up playoffs that took place in Douala, our one and lone team, Ngokitunja FC, had a draw with 18 Sport. So we are just hoping that teams that are representing in the up playoffs and down playoffs from the Anglophone regions should be successful. Then, without much ado, we are going to go to the cycling race. We know the 7th lap of the cycling race that took place in Douala, in the city of Douala. The race was cancelled due to poor road conditions in the town. So the officials of the National Cycling Tour cancelled that race, and we don't know. The controversy now is who is to blame. Is it the council? Is it the organizing committee of the cycling tour of the cycling race, or is it the Douala City Council? Meanwhile, the German cyclist Munzi Zhang wins the 8th lap. The 8th lap was the 8th lap of the the cycling race, which took place yesterday, that ran from Douala to Kribi. That was the 163.1 kilometer race, and the German cyclists there took advantage and won that race. And then we are going to dive now to the National Draft Championship that is taking place in Yaoundé, and two Cameroonians, Nga Landry and Alain Fezou, both in Group B and C. They are ranked the 4th in their groups with 8 and 9 points. They have a final Group D match to play today, the 13th, while there is the cup holder of the National Draft Games, is of Danish nationality, Jan Gironjak. That's his name. And then we are going to dive now to something else. That is the Minister of Sports and Physical Education, Narcisse Mwelo Kombi, has opened the first session of the Cameroon Olympic Sports Committee that started yesterday in Yaoundé, while the president of the Olympic Committee, Ahmad Kakaba Maboum, on his part, has emphasized on funding for athletes to represent Cameroon abroad, to present good governance and respect of Olympic values at all levels of sports movements in Cameroon. The opening session will be followed by a working session there. So we are going to, from that, we are going to see some teams that have qualified for the AFCON Morocco 2025. You know, these games are going to start in December 21st, and this African Nations Cup is going to take place in Morocco. And so far, we had teams like Morocco, Burkina Faso, Cameroon, Algeria, DRC, Senegal, Egypt, Angola, Equatorial Guinea, Cote d'Ivoire, Gabon, Uganda, South Africa, Tunisia, Nigeria, Zimbabwe, Zambia, Mali, Comoros, Sudan, Benin, Tanzania, Botswana, and Mozambique. These are the teams that have already qualified for the African Nations Cup that is going to be taking place in Morocco. And finally, we are going to go to our final package that we arranged for you this morning, where we are going to meet the Uzbekistan players and coaching staff. They have received brand new cars as gifts for their 2026 World Cup qualification. You know, this is their first ever 2026 World Cup qualification. Those were cars that were handed to the players and coaching staff for their qualification. And this qualification came after their 3-0 win against Qatar that took place, the World Cup qualifiers that they beat Qatar 3-0. So this is going to be, remember, the World Cup is going to take place in USA, Mexico, and Canada. So Yannick, this is what we could put together for you viewers of DMR TV for our sports info this morning.
All right, thank you so much, John Philip Wandla, for treating us to a sports page. Wow, quite a rich package for the weekend there. We want to thank you so much. See you on Monday for yet another edition of our sport roundup there. Quite interesting. I'm sure this weekend is going to be quite eventful in the world of sport, and we will be getting lots on Monday. Now, dear viewers, I told you that this Saturday, the 14th of June 2025, the world will take a pause to reflect on the importance of donating blood. It is the World Blood Donation Day, and it's of course a day every June 14. The world looks at the importance of donating blood to save lives that are very important, lives that could be in an emergency situation, and the need for blood transfusion. So we today here on Salve Vicinus are coming up to amplify our voices so that we can join the masses, the millions who are calling for the importance of donating blood. So we have invited the head of the blood donation unit at the Boya Regional Hospital, or the Regional Hospital of Boya, to come and share with us to tell us more about the day, and also to share with us the importance of donating blood. So I am pleased to have with me Dr. Esono Sonny. He is the head of the blood donation unit at the Boya Regional Hospital. Good morning, doctor, and thank you for joining us.
Good morning, sir. Thank you very much.
Right.
It's a pleasure.
Thank you so much. The camera was always has not got doctor there. Please, yes, that's doctor. That's great. So doctor is joining us this morning, and of course, just to tell the viewers that our discussion today aligns with the blood donation day. We are saying that, have you ever donated blood? And if you've done so, what inspires you to do so? What inspires you to donate blood? So here we are with Dr. Esono Sonny. Share with us first thing first, when we talk about blood donation, what are we talking about?
Okay, thank you very much for hosting me. Good morning to all televiewers. It's always a pleasure when we have to come and share about something very sensitive as concerning blood donation. Now, most especially, I must reiterate that before we dive into blood donation, I am the regional coordinator for blood transfusion for the Southwest region, and also the regional representative of the National Blood Transfusion Service Southwest region.
Wow.
So I work in collaboration with all blood banks in the Southwest region.
Great.
To ensure that we have blood to serve the population. Now, when we talk of blood donation, it is simply an act of removing blood, or for someone to go and his or her blood being removed and kept for therapeutic use to be given to another person, and the person whose blood has been taken is called a donor. So that is where we have the World Blood Donor Day. Now these persons, and now for us to talk about donation, you have to meet certain criteria for you to be able to donate your blood. So donation is just a process by which blood is being collected from someone and kept for qualified, that is, tests are being run on the blood and make sure it is safe for it to be transfused to another person.
Right. So what are the criteria you're talking about?
Okay. Now, when we talk of criteria for donation, the first thing we need to look at is this person has to be healthy. Now, a healthy individual already meets the first criteria for being a blood donor. Now, secondly, we look at the weight, the age of the person. Now, there's a standard which the World Health Organization has given, most especially for sub-African regions. So it's between the ages of 18 to 65 years. But now you have other nations which are developed, they go as far as 16, 15 years. But in our setting in Cameroon, the donation age ranges between 18 to 65 years. Now we move to the weight. There are so many people who have always wanted to donate blood, but they don't meet the criteria of donating because the minimum weight you have to attain before meeting the criteria for donation is 50 kilograms. That's we can say approximately a bag of cement. Now, if you are not up to 50 kilograms, you cannot be eligible. So for you to be eligible, you should be 50 kilograms and above. And now you also need to meet up the criteria of the blood level. Now for men, the blood level should be 13 grams and above. while for ladies 12.5 grams and above. So when you meet that criteria, and you must you for you to be also to be qualified to donate, you must have not consumed alcohol in the last 24 hours. You must also you should have, if you have a tattoo, it should be at least 1 year. At least 1 year before you can meet the criteria of donating. So those are basically some of the criteria, though there are others which are among the many we could bring for these ones.
Right. So what's the importance of donating blood?
Okay. Now the first thing we realize is blood is a medication. Where all of us we know it's just like the paracetamol, the ibuprofen that people do consume. But now the difference is that blood cannot be manufactured in the laboratory. We can only come from us giving our blood, from you and I. So this is why the importance of donating blood is to save lives, the first thing, because we see people dying every day because of lack of blood. We have road traffic accidents, we have people with cancers, we have people undergoing hemodialysis, they have kidney failures, they need blood. You have mothers who give birth and they bleed after childbirth. You have children who are sick of severe malaria, they need blood transfusion because of anemia, and we have so many conditions. Now you see, the reason why we always advocate for blood donation is because these people do need blood, and if we say these people need blood and we don't donate blood, given the fact that we know that blood cannot be manufactured like other medications, then we are putting ourselves at risk. So that's the importance of donating blood, to save a life. And 1 pint of blood you give, it can save at least 3 lives, because blood has different components. Once it is separated into its different components, it can be given to at least 3 different people. So
right. So that's very interesting. So now talk to the people outside there. We're celebrating another year for blood donation. What is the message out there to the population? First of all, tell us about the theme for this year, and then go ahead to talk to the people watching us.
Okay. This year we are celebrating the 21st anniversary of the World Blood Donor Day, which was instituted in 2004. And the theme for this year is Give Blood, Give Hope, Together We Save Lives. Now we are celebrating hope this year because we notice that giving blood is something which is first of all not easy, because we always call on the population to be voluntary, non-remunerated donors. When we talk of voluntary non-remunerated, there are 3 kinds of donors. You have a voluntary donor who is not paid. We have a commercial donor, the ones who give their blood for payment. And we have family replacement donors. These ones, they just come in when their families are in need of blood, and they come to donate blood. But what we encourage is everyone should be a voluntary donor, not expecting a financial benefit attached to it. So this year we are celebrating hope, and the importance of the World Blood Donor Day first is to come together and acknowledge that there is a crucial need of blood. And if we have to go through statistics, we'll see that especially in our region, the Southwest region, we have a serious crisis of blood. Imagine every year we need 31,000 bags of blood, but we have not been able to even meet up to 11,000 for the past years. So it means there is still a lot we have to do, given the fact that we have multiple accidents keep occurring every day. We have ladies who also give birth and they bleed. We have children who are sick of severe malaria and they need blood transfusion, and the rest, and so on, so many. So we see that there is a crucial need. That is why we always try to come out to sensitize the population that it is good to give blood to save these people's life, because when people hear of the blood bank, the thing is just like a tank that has blood that at any point in time when you come, you're in need of blood, you will be saved the blood, which is not the case. So, and many blood banks are already running dry, meaning they are already running out of blood. So this is why we always try to come out, even to tell the population that we need their blood. And when you give your blood, you are saving lives. It's an act of solidarity. It's also an act of altruism. You see it's like a civic responsibility to the nation. Saving lives is what we always advocate for.
Right. So there is this message that came into our tablet. It says, I am Felico Atabong. I have been donating blood since the age of 20 to present. I am inspired by the desire to be of help to someone and the fact that it always gives me an opportunity to have free health checks. That's the information.
Wow.
So there are many people watching out there. They have enough blood to share, but the procedure, many of them don't know the procedure. So for that person who is watching us out there and is inspired to donate, just share with us the simple procedure that they leave their place of comfort now and come and donate blood. What's the procedure?
Okay. Now, we've made it to be so easy that everyone out there, at your comfort, you can always try as much as possible to donate blood so as to save lives. Now, we have blood banks that are scattered all over the region. As of now, the Southwest region has 20 blood banks, but only 16 are functional. Now, which means at every given point in time, if you feel like you want to be a voluntary blood donor, you can just rush to the regional hospital. If you're in Boya, you rush to the regional hospital, you can donate blood. You can go to Mount Mary, they have a blood bank, they'll always receive you. You can go to Solidarity, they have a blood bank, they can always receive you. And at these blood banks, we have kept flyers and other gadgets that can give you more information if you need or you have questions to ask. You'll be provided with a number that you can always call at your comfort, and they will give you directives. Now, even out of Boya, if you're in Limbe, you can also go to the Limbe Regional Hospital to donate your blood. You can go to the Limbe District Hospital, Bota, to donate your blood. So anywhere you find yourself, whether you're in Tiko, the Tiko District Hospital is always available and open for you to donate blood. The CDC Cottage Hospital is always there, ready to receive you. So wherever you find yourself, you can just we'll leave a number you can always call, and you'll be given directives on what to do and how to donate your blood.
So can you leave that number?
Okay, now the number is 673-53-7083. 673-53-7083.
Right, 673-53-7083. Right, 673-53-7083. That's a number you can call and get somebody out there. We have another message. We have two messages, but now we want to take a pause. We'll take a pause and now quickly get what is making news in the world of Pidgin English, because Ken Jaman is in the studio. So straight away, without any transitional imperative, we have Ken Jaman with the Pidgin news.
Special salute for any man wey he take stop by for us ID as una take hear am na equally the time this for we sep for take bring tori for una for Pidgin language for this sharp morning time. Send story for the morning time na equally Reverend Father Prosper Boma which he talk for his send story. Say it is so na only person wey he get running stomach, it is sabi flies away, they know they sleep for latrine. The only person wey he get running stomach, it is sabi flies away, they know they sleep for latrine. Because anytime it go latrine. Now for hour, now for midnight, it is yam. Alright, straight away we start with Tori for this sharp morning time as we start for Roma country for update una how the pilgrims them where they come for Ash, that's all Bamenda, they just now for Roma country put them. Where to take pass as na the for Tereso, it been a joyful moment for glad for all the pilgrims them where they come for Ash, that's all Bamenda, go for that side for Roma country for the holy worker where in a pilgrimage they call them. Where to take pass at the Siam so they be meet up with Papa for Roma, His Holiness Pope Leo the 14 as how they be giving country chair where come for Bamenda side for so people so land as it take pass. So remember say now equally their chief shepherd His Grace Andrew Nkea neither so where they will represent the chair for Papa for Roma say na your own country chair this will bring over Bamenda for come back one name too as it take pass so country for 2 p.m. we na hear to more how it happen for that side how the pilgrimage is continuing after they meet up the Holy Father Pope Leo the 14. We leave a chapter, enter the next story. Still for church news, Kochipurem, na matter for convention, dongame for the Sacred Heart Ex-Student Association, where they gather for America, Kochipurem, for United States of America, for their 2025 convention. And during this convention, so Kochipurem, they be equally elect their new executive, their new kunkuma, where na Reverend Father Desmond Zikum, na SSF be the new president now for Sacred Heart Ex-Student Association America branch. As when I take Siam neither so put them before the election one start, he said we talk a manifesto them which he could do if they put in kunkuma one time after the convention they be elected. And for 2 p.m. unakuye which he continue be talk Reverend Father Desmond Zikum, new president for Sacred Heart Ex-Student Association, which he be talk unakuye and for 2 p.m. as he take pass. We leave that chapter just now. We enter the last of Bamida side, Bamida City, Konchipurem. Sabi said last week, Friday, the kind time, so this same day, we will present how wrote the nature of the road for inside Bamida City, especially for that of a mental quarter. How they wrote, if you don't be in a swimming pool. Motor the sister they be swim on top road where na only pothole them where you don't turn into river shores which you take past put them na way last the city mayor for Bamida City Council it already start the bolo. So bolo it happened just now as they fill up the pothole them with the gravel with the ground as caterpillar they did serious the bolo for that side of Bamida side they contribute them and around T junction that's over mental quarter for 2 p.m. unasema na kuye muo unakusabi muo for that palava. Next story for this harmony time now for Tico side the terrible fatal ghastly motor accident where it happened for that side for Likumba Bridge or Likumba Okada Park as na take Siam Kochipurem. This Ngongolo motor where it get a red back so naida so Ngongolo motor where it become mutengene they go from Mongo for go carry Sansan as he said it be there for speed. The Okada man too where we carry 2 passenger them plus the Okada man them 3 them 2 they be there for speed. Which it take pass as the Ngongolo motor he reach around Okada Park for Likumba side. He struggle for dodge some pothole around that area. That bike man will be there for speed. Prank kang bish. The casse as we take there when I saw. And yes, there will be sound on the story where it be happen. We be promised we will bring an update today. The update now and I say one person he died for that incident where the doctor said declare him as we tell when I say where what happened if I have to investigate and where. So for the 3 bike passenger be on the bike now one man he don't die as pomporon for the toxic or in 3 they die for that padava. So for 2 p.m. we now could hear reactions from fellow bike rider them for that side for Tico side day. We jump to for this sharp money time for inside Idea for Idea side day because put another sad incident to Ngongolo motor where you carry charge where you carry Mimbu you go to Mbosai for road for Idea one time population they train a Saraka for day for inside they celebrate as they take Siam so contribute them why are they go we they enter for this plane crash where it happened for Indian side they put them in the plane it carry 242 people them and it go for UK for London side they as it take up so one time it go 4 which it take pass out of the 242 people that be inside the plane 241 they sleep straight as when they take Siam so put them and that's one man he survived for this plane crash so we bring up for today muna Siam how it be take pass sabi say the helicopter it go for to the corners of hospital as we take there when so for inside Indian side they so water it turn up plenty for inside Indian their eyes as 241 of them they don't sleep straight for plane crash where it take pass so for 2 p.m. we will bring una how the plane it be start for 4 where some supposed to be filmed for inside it be there live so I be filmed so it be come out for social media una go see how the plane it be start smoke be enter inside the whole plane all man be the cry plenty for that parava so for Divine Mercy Radio Television we extend Asia sorry heart for Indian country and all family the way they lost their loved ones them for that plane crash. That's over 2 p.m. No miss you will hear more.
Thank you so much, Kenjaman, for the PG News. Of course, rendezvous is taken at 2 p.m. on a larger package on the PG News. Let's go straight away to the messages. This one says, "Good morning from Bomaka. I love donating blood, but I discovered that patients are charged for this same blood that was given free, which stopped me from donating. What can you say about that, doctor?" That's a question to doctor. Let me just read all the messages. We don't have time. This other one says, "Hello, Salve, Vicinus. I'm interested in donating blood, though I heard it is risky. But when I understood that people actually die because they don't have money, the hospital charged them to pay before receiving the blood. It's really sad. If I should sacrifice my blood, the hospital should be able to sacrifice any bills in preserving and saving the blood and subsidize it to its patients." It's coming from what's the name? Aheb from Boya. Okay, thank you so much. And this last one before we take leave, it says, "Good morning, doctor. Thank you very much for the enlightenment. Please, when I donate my blood, let it save life for free and not be charged." Well, everybody here is talking about the hospital charging. Doctor, can you quickly just say something about that?
Okay. Thank you very much. Thank you so much for the question. It's also is going to be an opener for everyone who is watching us out there. Now, when you donate your blood for free, we understand that before the blood is being kept in the blood bank, you have to run some tests, as we all know. We have to do HIV, we have to do hepatitis B and C, we have to do syphilis, and we also need to conduct the blood group and so on, and also the blood level. Now, all these tests which are being conducted, they need reagent, and the reagent are being purchased with money. Now, according to the national algorithm, we should understand that if we have to go by giving the price of a blood bag from the ministry, it should be between 50,000 to 65,000 francs CFA. But now the government has subsidized that price to make it to be what it is. You come at the regional hospital, you can get a bag of blood at 15,000. So the money you are being asked to pay is like a compensation for the screening that was done on the blood. It's not actually asking you to buy blood or to pay for the blood you're receiving. So it's just a way to say, okay, for us to keep on testing this blood and making sure it is safe, let us have the reagent. So that's a token that they can ask for that process. And also, someone also mentioned that when you give your blood, when you come to the hospital, or maybe you don't have money, they keep asking for money. Now, what we do is at the level of the hospital, when an emergency comes, we prioritize saving the life before thinking about the money. So we always like to make the carers to understand that, okay, we are giving this blood, but you know that once blood goes out, it has to be replaced. Okay, so it means that once you feel better, or maybe you're already on your feet, you can look for someone who can come to replace that blood so that the bank doesn't stay empty.
Right. All right, doctor, I wish we would have had so much talk about this. There's a lot to discuss, but I'm sure subsequently we're going to have you again so that you can talk more.
Thank you.
And I want to thank all the viewers who have been contributing. We have a series of contributions, but we're really out of time. My name is Yannick Fonke for presentation of Salve Vicinus this week, together with Bob Gabrandi, who manned the broadcasting and transmission, Betuel Kinge, who also was here as a studio manager, together with Archie James, and all the fleet of presenters who have been there for the program. We say thank you for being with us this entire week. And also our guests, of course, we have here Dr. Esono Sonny, who is the regional head for blood transfusion in the Southwest, and also the representative of the Southwest region in the National Blood Transfusion Committee. Yeah, so we want to thank you immensely for coming, Doctor. Right, so we'll be together again on Monday for yet another edition of Salve Vicinus. Have yourself a very fruitful weekend, and of course, remember that everything you do, do it measurably so that you don't find yourself on harm's way. Together, one love in Christ. Have yourself a wonderful weekend. Salve Vicinus.